Okay, going to go through here and show how to configure the weapon, different ways you can do that. So you had said the sights and the recoil. So the prefab is called this right here, VZ61 M9 base version. You can search it down here in the resource browser as well. And the blues are prefabs. So this is what you're looking for if you want that. And here's the magazine for it. But we already have a couple out here. Okay, so once you select that, you have weapon component, and then you have muzzle component, which is where like some of the ballistics and stuff will be handled. We have it in this magazine well. I created this for this one, so it's custom. This is where you can adjust this stuff right here, dispersion range. So at 140 meters, it's 0.4 dispersion, which whatever that is, 0.4 meters cubed or something. So you can adjust that for the accuracy. This is the case ejecting stuff. So when you go into these, you click on it, but to see where it actually is, you need to click on offset, effect positions, offset. So there's where it is right now. And you'll see this one, the particle effect is the casing right here. There's no prefab on it, so we can add that right now. I believe I have a prefab for it. Yep. Although that is way too big. So I can change that in Blender, or I could scale it in here, but we might as well just do it in Blender real quick. I think it's in this file, maybe. Yep. Okay, so I'm going to move this to origin. Geometry to origin. Oh, actually origin to geometry first. No. There we go. Active element. Okay. Okay, that should be all right. Oh, I need to scale it. Okay, so I'm going to hold control. That way you can do it incrementally. Lock it to things. So 0.1. 0.1 again. I'm watching in the top left of the screen to see the scale right up here when I change it. One. Okay, so I think that's about right. We might be one smaller. Let's try this. Export. Casing. Okay, go back here. Is that too small? I don't know. I think that's right. And you can't click on things like this, which is really annoying. So you can, but you have to be on a different layer. And I don't know why they do that, but because this stuff is on test layer, and where that's the active layer, we can't click on it. So if you just make any other layer active, then you can click on this stuff. I really don't know why they do that, but okay. So here, so you'll see right there is where it's going to eject from, which is about right. And then it has this other effect right here as well, which is the smoke effect. And you'll see it looks like it's there, but we got to go to offset again. Okay, there's where it is. And then this muzzle effect component is the actual muzzle firing thing, so it's right here. So that's good. So I'm going to save that, apply it to the prefab. Here's the animation component. So this is just with the default M9 animation stuff on it for now. Muzzle component, these are your fire modes right here. You have safety, 0 rounds per minute, single shot, and full auto at 850 RPMs. So then now to just the ballistics and stuff, you're going to go to the magazine. So just search for magazine VC61 or magazine. And then when you search, go to assets. That's ours. If you go to Reforger, this shows all the vanilla stuff that comes with the game. But ours are in here. Okay, so right here. And then we have this too, magazine ammo type configuration file. So FMJ, so we already have that by default. So we use that type for this bullet. So open up your prefab for your magazine. Yeah, save that. So in here we have this ammo mapping. This is because it's 20 rounds, so we could have it where like some rounds were FMJ and then the last few rounds were a tracer or whatever, stuff like that. That's what ammo mapping is. I haven't messed with that much besides that right now. Here is the ammo config. So you're going to click this or this. Okay, so then the ammo config points to this, which is one of the types of ammo for it. We haven't made more yet, but we can make more later. Okay. And then on the projectile right here and shell move component, you have different options. So these we just leave here. We're not going to use the cartridge. I just have it using the projectile right here, the projectile mesh, rather than the whole cartridge. And then on the projectile or on the shell move component, I have the mass set here because it I googled it and it was like 5.3 grams, so I think that's what that is. 27 damage, I'm going to lower that. Let's do, I don't know, 13. And then here's different effects. These are just default. I haven't touched them yet. When it hits. Okay, here's the ballistic table for it. Which this is all default as well, but you can go into each of these and change all this stuff. Okay, here's the diameter of the bullet, the length of the bullet. I believe those are correct. This one might have to be like 3.04, but I believe that's right for the length. I googled all that stuff. Okay, here's the mushroom damage multiplier. I didn't do that, but we could set that in there. Tumbling damage threshold, tumbling damage multiplier. So all this stuff you can go in and change. You want to leave this kinetic, but you can change the penetration depth, density, speed, all this stuff. So I'm going to leave those for now. And then you had said you wanted the recoil different also, I believe, so I think that's going to be on the weapon prefab right there. We can have it show the weapon name in the bottom right corner. Where is it? The projectile position there. The muzzle position. Oh, see, that's the muzzle end position, so I didn't set that yet. So let's set that here. Okay. All right, and where is the recoil? Somewhere here. This is recoil when you're aiming. And you can change all that stuff, but that's not what I'm looking for quite. There's an easier way right now. Maybe it's on the magazine. It's in here somewhere. But yeah, you'll just have to find all this stuff. Where the hell is it? There's a spot that's called, says camera recoil. Trying to figure out where it's at. I have done it many times, but oh, it's probably on sights right here. Okay, so sights position, I've set these. Click offset. That's like where your eye is at, kind of. But then you want front sight right here. Rear sight here. So let's make sure these are the same height, so I think will be one good thing. So we're going to do 0.09. Just try that. Yeah, let's do 0.08. And aim down sight time, that's how long it takes you to do it. You can change that. There's camera recoil amount, so you set a little bit less. So let's do 0.03 instead of 0.04. Or let's do 0.025. How about? Okay, save. Sight ranges, so I haven't set this up yet. Most of the default weapons just have sight ranges at 0, but we can just add another one and then add it at 75 meters. If you hover over here, it'll tell you X is animation value, which I don't know what that relates to yet. Y is range in meters, so Y 75. And then add another range for 150. Okay. Save. You can change the field of view on the sight, so if you want to set this class and go in there. Fixed, or you can have variable, but I'm just going to leave that for now. I'm not sure what this weapon position does on these. I'm just going to set them up for later for now. Just leave them at 0. Okay, we have that. Maybe give it a little bit more bullet spread, or we can make it the same amount but at a lower distance. So let's just do that at 100 meters. So it disperses a little bit more. Okay, let's try that for now. And I can change the color on the casing while we're here too. I'm not sure why I have to change that so it's not using the magazine material, but whatever, for now it's fine. Okay, so that is the right material. It's changing it there, you can see. So we'll do that and then make it metallic. Turn down the roughness. And this doesn't really matter for now. I guess I could do this more, but it doesn't matter. Okay. So let's open our main scene again. One other thing is, because we have persistence set up, every time you go into play mode, whatever you do is going to stay and be persistent. So if you pick up the gun and then you go back into play mode, if you see this, by the way, just hit ignore. So you go back into play mode, it's going to be gone if you already picked it up. So all you have to do is, before you go into play mode, press Alt-C. You'll see it says database cleared. That'll get everything back to defaults for you. Okay, so let's go into play mode and test the gun out. Okay, so you hit this, and spacebar. Get some magazines for it. Okay, there's the aiming. Oh, you see the casing there? I need to fix that. But you see the case is coming out now? I think they disappear pretty much right away. We can change that too, but... So I can change the position on the hand and stuff when he reloads. I'll do that at some point, but yet. Yeah, we got that working. Sights look a little better. It will look better without the casing there. So we'll fix that. Okay, let's test the range on it. Press V to go to full auto. And I lowered the damage too. Okay, so that's not very accurate, but that's what it's supposed to be. Okay. Okay, so you see this message down here. Casing should have a hierarchy component because it spawned. So we're going to find our casing. Drag it out here. And add a hierarchy component to it. And we're also going to add an RPL component for the network. No parent on it. Well, actually, no, okay. And then we're going to add a rigid body to it. See if we can get him to hit the ground. The mass would be really low on this, obviously, so let's do just something like that. Gravity, yes. Simulation, yes. I don't think I have a collider on that, do I? Let me see. Nope. So I'm gonna do this. Edit EBT object, collider. Just make it a little capsule collider. Layer is gonna be prop. Actually, prop no nav mesh. Okay. Oh, I did have. Okay, so there we go. Okay, so we're gonna highlight that. So it actually took my mesh out of there, so I'm gonna undo. Actually, so right now that's a UTM, which is triangle, whatever, so it's basically a mesh collider. So it'll be a lot more efficient if we just do a cylinder collider here instead. So there. Layer, prop no nav mesh, save. Okay, select all, export. Okay, now we can check model geometry and then save our prefab. Okay. And then also need to get this so it's not showing there just by default. Dun, dun. I'm gonna, well, I'm just gonna try this, not having it not enabled, and see if they still come out. And see, I didn't clear the database, so the other one is gone, but there's still one more to pick up. Okay, so it's kind of there. We can adjust the sights a little bit more. But while we're in here, let's test. Test single shot. Okay, let's fix the sight a little bit, which we can either rotate the angle on it or move one of the positions of the front or rear sights. Still learning how all that relates to each other. Okay, so sights component. So let's try just turning this couple degrees down and see what that does. Oh, and I didn't clear the database, so we're gonna do that. Okay, Alt-C, database cleared. I think it adjusted a little bit, but maybe not. Let's try it again. Actually, I'm going to take a screenshot of that. So I can compare it. I'm going to reset this, I think. Let's try raising the rear sight a little bit. So that didn't really change anything either. I'm just going to do this drastically to see if it affects it. Clear the database. Okay, no effect. So that's not what I'm looking for. So put that back. Whoops. Okay, let's try that and see what happens. Okay, so I'm not sure on that. I'm gonna have to look that up and see what else I can find to adjust that. And right now it's doing like a 2-round burst on single shot mode also, so I'll look at that for see what's why it's doing that. Okay, I'm going to try lowering the rear sight position. See if that does anything. Instead of it being higher than the front one, it's going to see what it is when it's lower than the front one. Clear the database. Play mode. Still no change, I don't think. I think if we just lower the regular sight position right here just a little bit. Okay, there we go, see? So that's about right. We could probably lower it just a little bit more, maybe. And then we could adjust the forward or backward on it also, but I think it's in a decent spot there. I think the front and rear sights part is used basically just for zeroing at different ranges, but I'm not totally sure. Okay, so that's about right, I think. Maybe a little bit, just a little bit lower, I think, still maybe. Alright, I think that's more like it, right? Okay, now let's look at the firing thing, why it's firing more than one round on the single shot. It's just on muzzle component. This fire mode right here, single, max burst is 1, but it's shooting 2, so I don't know why it's doing that. I changed these. I don't know if that would have affected it, but I'm going to change that back to default and see if that does anything. Alright, let's test that and also test the casings. I never saw if they were hitting the ground or the rigid bodies were working. Nice. Bouncing off the wall. Hell yeah. And the hands are in the wrong positions. I changed the IK position, but I think that's something we have to change in the animation actually. But I'll learn more about that. Yeah, the pose that you made, I think that's what we can need to use for that, so. But just another step I need to figure out. Test a single shot again. Still broken, I believe. Yep. So I'm not sure why it's doing that. Just another thing to figure out. That's how this stuff goes. Alright, I think that's cool for now. And just dig around through there, and any other questions, let me know and we can look through that stuff and find other settings. But I think that's the most meat and bones of it. Peace.